Imagine standing in the middle of a storm. The wind howls, the rain pours, and everything around you seems to collapse. An unpredictable, chaotic world. But right in the center of that storm, there is an absolute stillness. A center of stillness, solid and untouched. And that center is you. You are unshaken, not resisting, simply present. You are not swept away by the screams outside, nor drifted by the chaos of life. You are like a mountain amidst crashing waves, like a still nucleus in a spinning universe. So, what if this state wasn't just an imagined image, but a real possibility, a way of living? What if you could walk through life with an inner strength so unshakable that nothing and no one could move you? Not because you close your heart, but because you've reached a deeper level of understanding, where self-mastery doesn't come from control, but from awakening. In this video, I invite you to walk the path toward unshakable inner strength, a path once illuminated by Carl Jung, who bravely journeyed into the deepest layers of the human soul. We will explore how to free ourselves from the external world's influence, not by escaping reality, but by confronting it from a firm foundation, the foundation of self-awareness. Prepare for a journey, not one of distance, but of depth. Because deep inside you, there is a place that nothing can touch. And when you live from that place, the world is no longer a threat, but a playground for a mature soul. Before we begin, don't forget to subscribe to the Mind and Meaning channel, where philosophical dialogues, spirituality, and personal development await you. Here, you will not only find answers, but perhaps find yourself again. And now, the journey begins. Life, after all, is a delicate dance between two worlds. The outer world, full of turbulence, and the inner world, deep and profound. How many times have you felt exposed by a casual comment, a disapproving glance, or a seemingly harmless decision from someone else? Just a light breeze from the outside can cause the inner pillars to shake, leaving you like a fragile leaf caught in life's storm. But here is a truth often forgotten. Nothing from the outside can harm you unless you give it the power to. Carl Jung, who delved deep into the unconscious layers of the human mind, left us with a profound observation. True freedom does not come from controlling the world, but from understanding yourself. And it is in the inner world, where most of us have yet to face, that lies all we need to break free. When Jung spoke of bringing light into the darkness, he wasn't referring to an outward action, but an inward journey. It's the courage to face the pieces of ourselves we have long avoided, the nameless, vague fears, the wounds buried from childhood, the limiting beliefs whispered over and over, "I'm not enough." These parts don't simply disappear because we deny them. On the contrary, when neglected, they subtly control how we live, how we love, and how we let others define our worth. But darkness, contrary to what we believe, is not the enemy. Jung reminds us, darkness is an ancient friend. It doesn't come to destroy, but to guide. Every anxiety, every pain, every moment of doubt is a signal. Come back. There is something inside waiting to be heard. Imagine walking into a dark room. The fear comes from not seeing, uncertain of what might be lurking. But when you turn on the light, what you thought was a monster is just a coat hanging on a rack. In the inner world, it's the same. When you shine the light of awareness, fear loses its power. And when you have the courage to face it, you can trace its origins. A fear might stem from a harsh glance in childhood. A sense of inadequacy could be an invisible legacy from someone who loved you awkwardly. A limiting belief might just be a story you've told yourself too many times. The question now is no longer, why am I like this? But, how will I grow from this? Try looking at these dark pieces as companions. Behind fear lies the opportunity to become strong. Behind pain lies the doorway to compassion. Behind limitation lies the space for liberation. Facing the darkness is not weakness, but the bravest act a person can take. And as Jung once said, until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate. This is not just theory, it is reality. What you refuse to acknowledge will continue to resurface. The parts of you that remain unhealed will seek validation through others. And if you don't rewrite the story within yourself, the world outside will write it for you. But the beautiful truth is, you can rewrite that story, one step at a time, from right where you stand. And if you're wondering, how do I begin? Let's continue with 3 simple steps to look into the darkness and transform it into light. Step 1. Transform into the silent observer. Every moment in life is an invitation, either for you to react unconsciously or to return to your awakened self. The first step on the path to unshakable inner strength is to become the observer, the one who witnesses without being drawn into the whirlpool of emotions. When someone criticizes you, insults you, or intentionally touches upon your unhealed wounds, do not rush to react as a conditioned reflex. Pause. That brief moment between stimulus and action is where you reclaim your power. Breathe slowly, deeply, and ask yourself, is my reaction the truth, or is it just an echo of past wounds? Is this an attack, or is it a mirror reflecting something I need to see? The observer does not flee from emotions. On the contrary, they step into the storm of emotions but do not allow themselves to be swept away. They stand at the crossroads between impulse and choice, between past reflexes and present awareness. Imagine you are watching a play. You see the characters, the dialogue, and the plot, but you do not confuse yourself with any of the roles. You are not the anger. You are not the pain. You are the one who is witnessing all of it with silence and deep wisdom. This conscious detachment is the foundation of inner freedom. From this place, you no longer react like a programmed machine, but act as an awakened being, knowing who you are and what is truly worthy of your energy. Practical suggestions. Cultivating presence and awareness. Counting awareness. When emotions rise, do not speak, do not act. Simply count from 1 to 10, as if each number is a step back from the turbulence, moving towards stillness. Meditative breathing. Inhale deeply for 4 seconds, bringing light in. Hold the breath for 4 seconds, pause, be present. Exhale slowly for 6 seconds, release. Repeat this cycle 3 times, as a ritual, returning to yourself. Observing from the outside. Imagine you are an observer standing outside the flow of time. If you were a philosopher or a spiritual friend witnessing this situation, what would you advise yourself? Let the answer come from the stillness within, a place not bound by the ego. When you learn how to simply observe without being pulled in, you not only avoid immediate mistakes, but also begin to create a sacred space between you and the world, a space where freedom and peace can truly bloom. Step 2. Strengthen the core. Return to the center of yourself. In the most turbulent moments, the only thing that can keep you unbroken, unshaken, and grounded is your inner center. Carl Jung once said that true strength does not come from controlling the world, but from understanding the deepest essence of oneself, what he called the true self. But how can you connect with that authentic part? By turning inward, by being ruthlessly honest with yourself. No embellishment, no excuses, no pretending. Take time to reflect in stillness. What truly matters to you beyond societal expectations and roles? What values guide every choice you make, even when no one is watching? What boundaries do you need to set to protect the health of your soul? Imagine your inner core as the roots of a towering tree. The higher the tree reaches, the deeper the roots must go. If not, even a light breeze can cause it to sway. But when your roots are anchored in things that cannot be bought or swayed, you become as solid as a rock amidst the raging waters. Strengthening your core does not mean becoming rigid or dogmatic. It means living in alignment with the sacred within you, without compromise when your soul speaks. You will no longer need to please anyone to feel complete. You will also no longer need to react forcefully to prove you are not wrong. Because you know, deep in the silence, that you are living true to what you believe is real. Practical suggestions. Strengthening your inner core. Establish spiritual values. Write down the 5 deepest values you believe are the foundation of your life. Each morning, read them aloud, not as a list, but as a reminder for your soul. Set sacred boundaries. When someone crosses your boundaries, do not react with anger. Speak with the calmness of one who knows exactly what they are protecting. I understand you, but this does not reflect who I am. I do not feel safe with this approach. Write your personal manifesto. In a few short lines, outline the person you are becoming and the values you stand for. Whenever the world makes you doubt yourself, read it again like a flame that reminds you who you are. You do not need the whole world to agree with you. You only need to live true to the deepest part of yourself, a place of silence that is never confused. That place is the source of power that cannot be stolen. Step 3. Transform darkness into light. Turn pain into fuel for the soul. Negative emotions, anger, sadness, fear, are often seen as enemies to avoid. But through the philosophical lens of Carl Jung, they are not random storms. They are messengers from the unconscious, coming to illuminate the dark corners within us that we have never faced. Jung once said, "What is not brought into consciousness will return as fate." This means that when we reject an emotion, a pain, a memory, they do not disappear. They retreat into the darkness, silently shaping the way we love, react, and live without our awareness. Therefore, instead of rejecting negative emotions, we should welcome them as strict teachers. Sit with the pain and ask questions that only inner courage can bring to light. Why does this hurt so much? What belief am I holding on to that makes me feel threatened? Which part of my soul needs healing? When you dare to look deeply, you will see. Anger is not a destructive fire, but a signal of a boundary being violated. Fear is not weakness, but a call from a belief that needs to be liberated. Sadness is not just loss, but a release from what no longer serves your growth. Transforming negative emotions is not about denying them, but about guiding them through the darkness so they no longer control you, but become fuel for your inner evolution. Practical suggestions. Consciously transforming darkness. Write an emotional journal. Guide the darkness into the light. When a strong emotion arises, do not react immediately. Write it down. What happened, the emotion you are experiencing, and the lesson hidden beneath. Writing is a sacred act that brings the unconscious to the surface of consciousness. Visualization of transformation, turning suffering into light. Close your eyes. Imagine the negative emotion as a dark cloud within you. With each breath, shine light into it. Gradually, the cloud dissipates and the light spreads. This is not mere imagination. It is the re-establishing of an internal symbol, a powerful method Jung once used in psychotherapy. Paradoxical gratitude. Seeing grace in adversity. Look for a meaningful aspect in each difficult experience. For example, criticism may hurt, but it also helps you shine light on a dark corner of yourself you have never seen before. These 3 steps, becoming the silent observer, strengthening the core, and transforming the darkness, are not merely psychological techniques. They are the path of inner transformation, the journey of awakening from the invisible chains that have bound you for so long. And the miracle is, once you begin this path, you will not only learn how to protect yourself from harm, you will realize a profound truth. No one can hurt you unless you willingly surrender your right to master your own soul. Now, as you've passed through the 3 doors of awareness, of inner depth, and of transformation, take a quiet moment for yourself. There is no need to rush to become strong, nor to force yourself to change immediately. Every true journey begins with a gentle nod to yourself, an acceptance, an invisible embrace for the parts of you that you once wanted to hide. Carl Jung once said, "No one can attain enlightenment by imagining images of light, but by making the darkness conscious." You don't need to be a brilliant light. You only need the courage to carry a small lamp and take one step at a time in the darkness of your own soul. Because, right there, you will meet your truest, purest, and most authentic self. Be patient with the journey. And remember, each time you choose to look inward instead of seeking validation from the outside, you are moving one step closer to the deep freedom that no one can ever take away from you.